I'm Peter with ProLifeNews.tv and Pro-Life Unity. I'm here with Phill Kline, the district attorney in
Johnson County, Kansas.
And what county is that again?
Johnson.
Johnson County.
Suburb
right.
of Kansas City.
And Kansas, of course, has been something you've been fighting for Kansas for a while now. And a lot of people have recognized that and really see you as a leader that regardless of the odds, no matter what's going on, you're standing up for what's right. And you're pushing hard to get results in the battle for life in Kansas. Why don't you tell the folks out there what you've been doing and where you think this can go and how we can win the battle in Kansas?
Well, we have nationally for many years engaged in an effort to pass laws, reasonable laws that restrict abortion, that inform women, require parental notification or parental permission for a child's abortion, that protect children from statutory rape, that require the reporting of sexual abuse of children. But those who have the duty to enforce the law have looked the other way. We literally have hundreds of laws that apply to abortion facilities. Yet I am the only prosecutor in the nation ever to criminally charge Planned Parenthood or to obtain abortion records through subpoena. And what I've learned is that, for example, Planned Parenthood will routinely provide abortion services for sexually transmitted disease, contraception services to children who, by the very definition of law, are victims of crime. Children as young as 13 or younger, needing treatment for a sexually transmitted disease, have been raped under every law in the nation. And children who are raped and health care providers, which Planned Parenthood likes to call itself, who know of that rape, must report rape to law enforcement so that they can act to protect the child. Those reports are not forthcoming. If you compare the number of children that Planned Parenthood treats with the number of reports they issue to law enforcement, you'll see a dramatic difference in those numbers. That means the law is being violated.
Yeah.
And it also means that those who have the duty to enforce the law are not enforcing it. I had served as a state legislator. And as a state legislator, I learned that the most important ingredient you have is the ability to count votes, to get your issues passed into law. Otherwise, you're just debating.
Yeah.
As a prosecutor, you don't have to count. You decide. It is one of the areas that has the broadest authority of any position in government in the United States. Yet the life community is not engaged in electing and supporting district attorneys.
Really?
And prosecutors. And so we need to engage it, or all these laws that we pass have no value.
So the laws are there.
Laws are there.
In many cases around the country. And we just need the people to actually prosecute on the existing laws. If they
Absolutely.
exist.
Another example in Kansas is George Tiller. Kansas has some of the most restrictive laws in the nation on late-term abortion. We lead the nation in late-term abortions. People come to Kansas to get a late-term abortion.
From around the world.
From around the world. The reason being that the prosecutor who has the authority in Wichita to enforce the law ignores the law and refuses to enforce the law against Dr. Tiller. Such absurdities have been revealed, for example. Under Kansas law, you cannot abort a viable child unless the mother will suffer substantial and irreversible damage to her body. Dr. Tiller has performed abortions, justifying them under Kansas law for things such as I won't be able to compete in rodeo, or I don't want to hire a babysitter.
Or a rock concert.
A rock concert that I want to attend. They mock the law because they know that those who have the duty to enforce it will ignore it, and that's wrong, and we must change it.
So, for those of you out there watching this, what do you say to the people who are out there watching this that are in Kansas or anywhere else where these laws are an issue? How do they find out about it? How do they get involved and do the right thing to get people elected who can make a change, make a difference?
A good test to show that we're not paying enough attention is how many of them can name their local prosecutor. How many of them know what political party their prosecutor is, when they are up for election, or who might oppose them.
I couldn't, so I'm guilty right there. Yeah.
And it is of enormous power, those who hold those positions. So we must engage it. We must know where the Planned Parenthood facilities are located. I would bet you a dime to a dollar that your local pro-life crisis counselors who do the sidewalk counseling and so forth will tell you they've seen numerous children led by the hand in to get abortions.
Definitely.
Are those being reported so that the person who's abusing that child will be brought to justice? Probably not. That means that a crime has been committed by the clinic itself, the abortion clinic, as well as the person who had unlawful sexual relations with the child. So they need to open their eyes, recognize that this is an area that we need to engage in, and network and communicate about the evidence that they have at their disposal.
Oh, that makes sense. And these are important issues, obviously. I mean, the local states' attorneys, the prosecutors, all of these people, you know, we're talking about the presidency now here, the Values Voters Convention. We look at things really on the high level, senators, congressmen, president, Supreme Court, but you're bringing up a point that's really significant, that we need to pay attention more on what's happening at the local and the,
absolutely.
The legal side.
And I would say that your local prosecutor has more authority than a congressman. I mean, a congressman, and I appreciate our strong pro-life congressman, but it's one of 435 in the U.S. House. They're engaged in trench nuclear warfare. They move an inch here or move an inch there. At the prosecutorial level right now, people are seeing violations of the law and looking the other way. And they're the ones who have the duty and the responsibility and authority to enforce the law. Whatever Congress passes has no value unless the Justice Department does its job. Whatever you pass in the state legislature has no impact unless a prosecutor enforces it. And that's the area that we have not paid attention to, and we need to.
Well, how can people find out more about what you're doing and you know, see what they can do to get more involved? Do you have a website?
Our website is dated, but I'd encourage them to go there. We're going to begin to update it. Standwithtruth.com.
Good.
Standwithtruth.com, and also there's a phillkline.org, PhillKline.org, and we'll be updating that as we move forward.
Great. Well, thank you for speaking with us today. And
you bet.
You brought up some good points, and for those of you out there watching this, get involved more on that level where we're talking about the prosecutors. Who's going to actually prosecute the crimes if they're being committed? That's such an important point.
Yeah, our laws are not being enforced.
Thanks again.